All right, welcome to Nosebleed Nation Football. Man, we got some stuff to talk about tonight. And this is our first live show. We're going to be going live a few days a week going here on out, man, because we feel like live shows is what we need to bring out and what we think the people want, right? So we going to start doing the live shows. But look, we got a big, man, we had a big week. Week one, college football, crazy. Week one, high school football, crazy. Am I lying to you or not? Straight crazy. So today's lineup, we talking about Cowboys, Eagles tomorrow, week one, NFL. We're gonna talk about them Colorado Buffs. You know we gonna talk about that boy, Mr. Legacy himself, Arch Manning. We gotta talk about the historic flop. But they say it ain't no flop, it's growing pains. But if that was Shador, it'd be something else. We gonna talk about Bill Belichick's first game. Belichick ain't it, man. I mean, well, they growing, they growing. We gonna get there though. Bama, Bama goes down, down goes Bama. We gonna talk about Bama, and then of course we gonna talk about our high school game of the week, or what we felt was our high school game of the week. Um, Bergen Catholic versus East St. Louis. That's a game that we must talk about. Also, I want to shout out to them boys from Mount Carmel, Illinois. They played in a heck of a game this weekend. And I mean, hell of a game, hell of a victory from Mount Carmel. And it's been some rumblings, but we going to get there when we get to high school football. So, you already know, I got my boy Coach Mike D with me tonight. Coach K is on that road again, on that road again. You know, Coach K is our Jags and SMU ambassador. So whenever Coach K ain't here, that means he either down at SMU or he in Jacksonville with them Jags, baby. Real talk. Coach Mike D, talk to us, man. What's going on? First up, Cowboys and Eagles, dog. What's up? Cowboys, no Micah Parson, bro. What they gonna do? Not we, cause I'm not a Cowgirls fan. Yeah.
No, I know. We Pittsburgh Nation over here, so we ain't worried about what's going on with the Cowgirls at all. Hey, I'm in Big Dallas, but hey, it feels so good when they lose. I just know that much. But Michael Parsons, man, that was a big deal, man. I did the show talking about the effects of him leaving Dallas, and how it affects Green Bay, and it's pretty mixed down here in Dallas about how people feel. You got a lot of fans are saying good riddance to him. Then a lot of fans are upset. I think they are kind of nervous about the effects it may have, on the football team and even the psyche of the players in the locker room when you lose a player of that caliber. You don't see that every day. And I think the Cowboys are tired of the noise. I think they're going to try to, come out tomorrow and try to, calm down some of that noise when they play. I don't know what it's going to do, but we'll see. Only all the talking is done. It's time to play ball
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. So Coach Mike, you are NFL expert, bro. You are
now.
NFL expert over here on the channel. Who's winning this game tomorrow?
Well, whew, it was tough, man. Actually, I think the Cowboys are going to hang in there real good, but I still think they're going to lose because I just think they just can't run the football effectively. And I'm gonna break that down a little bit on both these teams. I'm gonna break down the Cowboys. But there's a lot going on in this game, man, that I had to do a little research on and kind of look into the team and just kind of see, like, hey, maybe before I jump on the Michael Parsons thing, let me look and see what's going on with them and where they can have some issues, and even where the Eagles might have some issues with the Cowboys offense. Because this is an offensive league, and the rules are now catered to the offense. The defense can't hit people like they used to. They can't do a lot of stuff. So if you got a dynamic offense, wide receivers, running backs, man, you can almost do what you want to. But we'll look at it. I'm gonna tell y'all early. I got the Eagles winning this game 42-24. I got the Cowboys scoring some points, but I got the Eagles running the score up on them. I got it happening. I got them running the score up on them. I think they're gonna get 40 points. If I'm wrong, hey, but don't hold it to me. I don't work for DraftKings and nothing like that. But hey, I got him getting 42 points. I think he's gonna do that. But I want to break down some about the Cowboys that I want the Cowboy fans. I want them to really pay attention to. Okay. So I'm gonna go down your defense a little bit. So remember, the Dallas Cowboy defense was ranked 28th in total defense. You saw my last slide. We talked about that. Their run defense was 29th. That's why they made the move, sending Michael Parsons to the Green Bay Packers and bringing in Kenny Clark. Okay, bringing him in there to shore up that defensive front. Take away the interior, but I still think they're susceptible to the run, especially on the edges. They were 17th in pass defense. I don't know. Mike is actually going to how it's going to affect that. They were third in sacks. It's definitely going to affect that. But I want to go down some things and talk about some injuries. The Dallas Cowboys got a lot of injuries going to this game and people that they lost. So if you look at the linebacker position, we all know DeMarvion Overshown, who was one of their best players, hard hitter linebacker, one of the leading tackles on the team. Well, guess what, guys? He is out. He is not in this game. Of course, in December 2024, he blew his knee totally out. His ACL, MCL, and PCL. He blew his knee out. Had to have knee surgery. He's still not back from that. So no Overshown in the middle. And we know that the linebacking core right now is a lot of no names and is very suspect. When it comes to Trevon Diggs had a knee injury, but he was a full participant in practice. So he is scheduled to play on tomorrow. So you'll have your starting corner, all pro corner, Trevon Diggs. When it comes to a guy named Perion Winfrey, he's a defensive tackle that they brought in through free agency to help shore up that defensive tackle front. Well, he did not participate in practice all week. He has a back issue. So right now he is suffering right now. So ain't nothing that he can do. So he's not going to be on the field. I want you to keep an eye on one little thing though. If you're a Cowboy fan, now we know Michael Parsons is gone. Okay, so I dug into their draft, and the guy you want to keep an eye on is Donovan Ezeraku. He was their pick in the second round, 44th overall. He's an edge rusher. He actually led the nation in sacks out of Boston College. Okay, he's a very decorated player. He was an ACC Defensive Player of the Year. He's an elite edge rusher. He won the Ted Hendricks Award for nation's top defensive end. Okay, so he's the one that if you want to see if it's going to help their pass rush, if they got rid of Michael Parsons, see is this guy going to be the one that's going to take over for them. So we're going to keep our eye on him. And we're going to see how the defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, they brought him in when they got rid of the other defensive coordinator when the defense got rattled last year. So we're going to see how Matt Eberflus deals with no Michael Parsons, how they're going to scheme up to stop teams. It's one of them things where you try your best to do it the best way you can. Okay. Now, when it comes to the Cowboys offense, so they getting Dak Prescott back. Okay. We know Dak Prescott got hurt last year. He had a major hamstring injury that had to have surgery, so he missed most of the season. The Cowboys offense was ranked 17th, pretty much middle of the pack in the National Football League, even with Cooper Rush. So we know they can throw the ball. That's not the issue. The issue is their rushing attack. They were 27th last year in rushing. They were 27th also overall in yards per game. That ain't good, y'all. We talk about having a balanced offense against the Philadelphia Eagles. You have to be able to find a way to run the football. If they catch you in 3rd and 9, 2nd and 11, any type of penalty situation, them guys gonna pin their ears back and here they come because they can rush you forward. Okay, so they were also 31st in the red zone offense scoring. That is horrible. I didn't know that they were that bad in the red zone. So the Cowboys are real good at getting down the field, but when they get in front of the goal line, they are horrible. The only team that was worse than them was the Giants. They were dead last. So it don't matter how good your offense is, how explosive it is. If they cannot get in the end zone, you're done. So also on the offense, let's keep an eye on George Pickens. Okay, George Pickens came over to trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers from the University of Georgia. The Pittsburgh Steelers got a 3rd round pick for him. And George Pickens needs no introduction. He is one of the best 50-50 deep ball threats in the National Football League. And they just gave that to Dallas with Dak Prescott, who's a very good deep ball thrower, and now CeeDee Lamb. they are going to be a threat. It's just about the running game. Now, the Cowboys do have some significant injuries on the offensive side of the ball, too, that you have to be aware of that may affect their running game. So, their guard that they brought in, Rob Jones, is out for the season. Okay, he broke a bone in his neck, so he's out for the season. They brought him in for to play the left guard position, and he's gone. So they now have a hole in their offensive line. They're going to be playing with a backup. Also, Jonathan Mingo, a wide receiver they brought in from the Carolina Panthers, who was going to be most of that big body, 6'2", 225 wide receiver. They brought him in. Well, he's out with a PCL strain. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks. He's not going to play. So, again, that hurts. Tyler Guyton, their offensive tackle, who hurt his knee, they thought that he might not be playing week 1, but good stuff for you guys and the Cowboy fans. He was a full participant in practice all week, so he is scheduled to go out and play. But their running back, Jaden Blue, who is one of the backs they're going to have by committee, he had a low ankle sprain. But he will be ready for week 1. Okay, so Clayton Adams, a new offensive coordinator, coming in trying to find balance in this offense. We all know that Coach Brian Schottenheimer, who has not had a head coaching job in a while, is the son of Marty Schottenheimer, likes to run the football. So I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to try to force that issue to try to control the line of scrimmage so they can open up the pass. Okay, they got to find a way to do that. But just looking at the Cowboy offense and defense, I think everybody should just keep an eye on and be strategic about what's going on with those injuries. So that's the Cowboys and such. That's that. You got to think about that, Coach Chuck.
Nah, man. You took it all the way out to the Cowboys. So let's move on to the next topic. I'm gonna switch my batteries on the camera while we do so. The Colorado Buffs, man. Tell the people what you thought about that Colorado game. You can lead first, and then I'm gonna come in and follow you.
Okay. Well, man, the Colorado Buffaloes, man, their offense looks very anemic. They can't, really. I mean, the quarterback play was not as well that you saw when Shedeur Sanders was at the helm of their team. The quarterback they brought in, a lot of people thought that they should be playing the young man, the 5-star recruit they brought out of high school. A lot of people thought he should have been starting, but they went with the transfer guy. And unfortunately, he didn't look so hot. Very highly penalized team. They were very undisciplined. Really couldn't run the ball. And they allowed the other team to just run down their throat. That was very shocking, especially with Warren Sapp at the helm, getting those defensive tackles and defensive ends and linebackers ready. They just did what they wanted to do. They ran all over them. And it was very uncharacteristic. But this is what happens though when you lose players like Travis Hunter, when you lose a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, who's an NFL type quarterback, you lose wide receivers like Horn, you lose guys on the deeper side of the ball and also line to the NFL. This was what happens. And then if you can't retool, you lose the first game of the season. So I think Deion Sanders, they're going to get back to looking at the tape and trying to figure out what they can do to curb this. I don't know. The quarterback position, they're going to have to find a way to put that young boy in the game. I think that, they brought him in there for a reason. I understand you want to go with a guy that has a little bit more season to him. But I think you got to get the young boy an opportunity to play. Okay? You got to find a way because he's a dual threat quarterback. He's a 5-star for a reason. A lot of these young boys that come in as freshmen, they don't want to throw him to the fire. I understand what Deion's trying to do. He's trying to save the young man from himself. But hey, this is college football. This is not the National Football League. I think you got to give him a shot to see what we can do. Maybe he'll bring some excitement to the team and get that stagnation out of the way. Kind of similar to what we saw to most mobile quarterbacks and dual threat quarterbacks, what they can do with their legs. Because the young man can throw the ball very well, very fast, very quick. I think you should give him a shot. But hey, I understand if they can't do that, but it's one of the things that is off the rails. But other than that, I mean, Colorado, they lost a close one. I feel like they could have won that game. Some unfortunate mistakes hurt them real bad. Bad play, bad decisions. and that's expected from the first game of the season. Um, it is one of those things where hopefully the Dion can get it corrected. I think he will. I mean, he has enough good coaches on his staff to. I'm pretty sure they looked at the tape. And don't be afraid to make some changes. Don't be afraid to maybe go with a two-back system, a two-quarterback system. Find out what that young man can do. At least put him out there to see. You never know what you might get.
I don't know,
But
coach. I think it's too early to switch quarterbacks already. I think
yeah,
it's way too early to switch quarterbacks.
mm,
They got to get this guy a chance. He didn't do good though. I ain't gonna lie, he ain't do good. But I also feel like the play calling sucked, bro. Like play calling was straight eighth grade, Coach Mike D. Play calling was straight eighth grade, in my opinion. It was horrible. It was some of the most horrible play calling that I've ever seen. As far as a Division 1 coach and a coach that's former NFL, it was basically run. It was run middle, swing pass left, flat screen right, run middle, screen pass left, flat screen right. And then they had success when they did try other things. And then the quarterback just couldn't come through when he needed to come through in the end. He just couldn't pull it off at the end. He couldn't come through as he was supposed to come through, coach. He couldn't do it. What you think?
well, it's one of them things where you're hitting the head on the coffin. Um, the play calling was bad. I think they were trying to condense the playbook for him. Eventually, you got to go down the field with the ball. Now, I think the Colorado's receiving core is not as good as it was last year. Maybe I'm wrong about that. A lot of those swing passes, dinking and dunking, sometimes that's evident that could they get open. If they can't get open, then they don't want the quarterback sitting there holding the ball. But you gotta go down the field. That's one thing they did very well with Shador Sanders last year. They went down the field. They ran those deep posts. They ran those red line fades.
Well,
They ran those deep digs.
with the
You know.
names they got, bro, like I look at it like college football, right? X's and O's, Jimmys and Joes, right? They got a
Already.
lot of Jimmys and Joes, and they got to give these Jimmys and Joes a chance to show what they can do, bro. That's all
I'm
I'm
with
saying.
it.
It's a lot of Jimmys and Joes in the wide receiver room, and they big name Jimmys and Joes, so they got
Yeah.
to be able to show what they can do. But on another note, man, did you see the Arch Manning collapse, bro? The Arch Manning collapse was epic, bro. Like, but
Woo.
but this is how I feel. I'm gonna go first. I don't feel like it was a collapse, bro. They was playing Ohio State.
Mhm.
And that defensive coordinator gave him some stuff that he couldn't figure out, bro. They rolling man two. They rolling from man. They rolling from two. They rolling from two. They rolling to man after the snap. Bro, they switching the coverage. They lining up in two. Then they'll roll the three after the snap. They'll play two on one side, man on the other side. Boy, the coach was out there playing a chess game. It was serious. So I feel like, you know, that was a big test for him. But to me, it was like going into the finals, right? And you ain't even got you just got the syllabus last week. You
Mm.
got to take a final on Thursday, but you just got the syllabus last week, bro. That's how I looked at that game. So now if he go out here and just be average pedestrian on this next game, bro, then we know something might be up. But I'm still a big Arch Manning fan, bro. He got some growing pains, but he didn't look good. And also, this ain't my biggest point, but I just feel like, I'm a Shador fan and I hate to do this, but if that was Shador, bro, they'll cook him. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh. No, that's headline news, Chuck. What? Why is that? Is it because he's a Manning? Ooh. Oh.
it,
Did
it,
we
it's
just say? Did I say that? Did I say that out
Yeah, it's several reasons. They gonna look at it as he just made a mistake. If he was a kid, he'll make a
loud?
mistake. If he make a mistake, bro, it's just a mistake. So if he have a bad game, it's just growing pains. But if
Uh huh.
he'll get a speed ticket, it's dumb. It's foolishness. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's
If
right.
he'll have a bad game, then he not ready for what they said. He not living up to the hype. But there was a lot of people out there that said he didn't live up to the hype, but I wouldn't. It's too early to call. It's too early
I
to call.
agree. Well,
What
that's
you
just
got?
that's
What you
just
got? What you got?
Well, Chuck, that's just common sense. Man, you play football, Chuck. So people that play the game understand there's a growing pain at the quarterback position, and we're gonna keep it all the way 100 and solid when it comes to the maturation process of a quarterback. Okay, Matt Patricia did the same thing to Arch Manning that Mr. Harbaugh at Michigan did to Mike Penix in the national championship game a couple years ago. He put NFL type schemes on them to see how they react. That's what happened to Arch Manning. And actually, this is good for him. We're not going, we're not going to jump on him because it's a big game, but it's also what he went up against, a NFL scheme. That's what he saw. That's what he's going to run into and we know he's going to get drafted and play on Sunday. That's going to happen, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. But he ran into an NFL scheme and it confused him. I think that he maybe been a little bit nervous. I can tell that Steve Sarkisian was running certain plays to make him comfortable. Not just think about it. He threw no balls over the middle of the field at all until like later in the game, like around the third or fourth quarter when they were down. He threw none, and a lot of offensive coordinators and coaches would do that. So because they understand that the guy's nervous, he might throw the ball too high, throw behind him, and it get intercepted. So it was very vanilla, very easy going at first. But when he was throwing the ball, his arm angle was bad. He was throwing the ball behind it. I didn't like that little sidearm stuff he was doing. And it just looked uncharacteristic of a Manning type quarterback that you would think a kid that would be very polished throwing the ball. Because he throws the ball like Peyton with his arm release. That's how he looks. But it was some very uncharacteristic throws. But he'll learn. This is good for him because when you run up against an NFL type scheme, you're gonna see them playing man on one side, zone on another, show you a cover one and go right to cover three, or do a fake blitz like that one sack that got him, where the guy turned his head and acted like he was gonna bail to fool the lineman, and then came. I think it was a linebacker came with the field and sacked him. That's what they do in the National Football League. So when he looks at this tape, all it can do is help him grow. And we ain't gonna jump on Arch. We ain't gonna jump on him because he's a first-year quarterback. We ain't gonna do what the pundits do out here, like they jumped on Shador. We ain't gonna do Arch like that. We realists. We understand they both young. They trying to learn. So he got plenty of time. He's in a good position. I think the next game they play, I don't think it's a high-powered opponent. So this will be a game where they try to help him get some confidence, against that opponent because they're not gonna be that great. But they ran into a buzzsaw. Ohio State is probably the best defense in the country.
All
Let's
right,
keep it real.
all right, coach. So what you think about the hoodie, man? The hoodie. My camera's still out. I don't know what the hell going on there tonight, but bear with us. We'll get it fixed for some more. What you think about the hoodie, man?
Oh man, what they
They
say?
wasn't ready, man. They wasn't ready. My first thought,
Woo.
TCU came out right, and they said, "Hell to the no, 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 no. We will not
No,
be
they
another Colorado.
don't
Not be another Colorado episode. They will
Man,
not do this to us." They went downfield. They scored. My nephew got the texting and calling, talking about, man, the hoodie
woo.
finna kick some ass. And then 20 minutes later, he say, "I think I spoke too early." They did not, they were not prepared, but they want to give him grace because he got 70 new guys. But when
Yeah.
Coach Prime, yeah, I'm saying it. When Coach,
Uh-oh.
when Coach Prime
Uh-oh.
lost the game, he wasn't doing a good job. But he had 70 new guys too in the
Tell it,
locker
Chuck.
room.
Go on, tell it.
But I will say the hoodie has approached this way different than Coach Prime. However, I would say the hoodie, he likes to stay out of sight because he got a 26-year-old girlfriend over there, and he what 86?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the hoodie
He
was
living he
60,
living his
man.
best life, baby.
He was 60. He was starting his third life, bro, when this girl was born. So, he kind of stay out the limelight because, but I don't know, bro. Some people say she's bad for him in football. He can't like coach really shouldn't have a girlfriend during football season. He should just have hookers, bro. That's just my
Mm,
that's just my opinion though. Allegedly. Allegedly.
allegedly.
Allegedly. But
Allegedly.
they didn't look good. I do like their quarterback. And I think they gonna grow, bro. I think they'll
Yeah.
win about 4 or 5 games this year, bro.
Yeah. Well, they like I said, I was a big fan for him, man. Michael Jordan was in
But
attendance. Julius
next
Peppers,
year,
all of them out there.
next year, 2 years from now, they gonna shake that ACC.
Oh, best believe that. They not going nowhere, man. Okay,
His,
they
his
got they
son
ran
is
into a
a coach on the
buzzsaw.
rise. His son is a coach on the rise, bro. Like
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know who his son is, but I guarantee in the next 5 to 10 years, they gonna start to feel who his son is.
his son is very smart, intelligent. He's doing this for his son. That's what he's doing this for. He's trying to get his son some feet wet in coaching so he can get him in the National Football League and get a head coaching job. That's what he's doing this for. Nothing wrong with that as a dad myself. As you are as well. We do what I do for our kids. That's what it's for, man. But I'm gonna highlight something about what happened in North Carolina. They ran into that Texas buzzsaw. Okay, so even at a school like TCU, we talking about the high school pool of talent, right? In Texas, Florida, and California, these are what they call what Lee Corso called them speed states. Speed, and it was on full display. Woo, on Monday, it was on full display. Okay, them boys was flying up the field, and them boys could not run with them, man. That's what kind of talent, even at a TCU, the kind of talent that don't go to Texas, don't go to Houston, don't go to Texas Tech or maybe outside the state, them boys still are way more talented on the TCU team. So I'm gonna give him some grace. He ran to a buzzsaw. I'm gonna give him some grace. He'll figure it out. He'll figure it out. You know, once he have a couple of wins, and I'm glad this game got out the way because I think the kids were probably more nervous than anything. Maybe he was nervous. I don't know. All that powder blue in the stands. Michael Jordan up there looking at him, the GOAT. Julius Peppers in the stands. They
Uh,
nervous. All that fanfare going on.
all right, we go Bama. Let's go
Woo,
Bama.
woo.
Bama gonna win 5 games, bro. They gonna run that man out of town, and he gonna take his 70 million and skip the hell out of town, and then go somewhere else and get him a coordinator job.
Wait a minute.
Give
That's
him
how much they
70
giving him.
million.
They giving him $70 million.
The buyout is 70 million for him to leave.
Woo!
If you're gonna fire me, you're gonna pay me 70 million to fire me
$70 million.
on the game.
Wow.
On the game, bro.
Wow. Well, I say this. I mean, one thing that I tell people about them dual threat quarterbacks, the starting quarterback Alabama, they said he was one of the top dual threats in high school. Well, welcome to SEC football because yeah, you might have been fast in high school, you might have been quick in high school, but you went up against that Florida school. Here we go again, Florida State, and he didn't look like it in that game. He didn't look like it. And that what is it, Castile kid? Castellanos, is that his name? Quarterback
Oh,
Florida State?
hey, boy. I'm right. I'm gonna make it short tomorrow because I owe that man an apology.
Yeah. You
That
need to
man
make
an apology.
one for that.
I called him up. Man, I told him he was crazy. He was smoking too much of that New York haze. You know what I'm saying? Too much of that Florida gum.
Uh-huh.
Boy, that young man went out there and kicked some ass, bro.
Bruh.
It was
Mm.
ugly.
Mm.
It
Best
was
athlete on the field, Chuck.
ugly, bro.
Best athlete on the field, Chuck. Best athlete on the field. Telling you. That
Yeah.
young man, when I saw the ball come out of his hand, like when the game first started, when he got his first possession, he threw it was like third or something. He incompleted it though, but he threw the ball. I was like, whoa, that ball jumped out of his hand. I said, man, if he just gets some touch and control, but he did. You can tell the moment was pretty high because he playing Alabama first game of the season. That ball, when I say throwing across the middle, he threw across the middle, and that ball was on a rope. So that's why a lot of coaches don't like doing that. But I was like, man, but he calmed down though. He settled down, and boy, can that brother run? Is he a running back playing quarterback? Man, Alabama had no answer for them. No answer.
Hey,
And
Coach Mike,
that
I got something I want to play right quick. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Listen to this, bro. Hold on.
Shout out Nosebleed Nation, man. Make sure you hit that like button, man. Get them likes up, man. We do this for y'all. Y'all know it's for the people that's in the cheap seats, the folks that buy the tickets. Click that like button. It's free, man. It don't cost you nothing. Nothing at all.
All right, you ready? Listen to this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Football nightmare, brother. The Gus Bus wheels do go round and round. Round and round over my candy ass. That's where they went round and round. I'm not saying that I hate your ass, but if you was on life support, I'd pull the plug and charge my phone. You're about as tougher as a bonus track on a Yoko Ono album right now, dude. Nobody likes you. You are an outsider. You couldn't inspire a chicken to cross the road if there was a hen on the other side looking like Megan Fox and some Daisy Dukes. Get the hell out of town. Clear away. Elvis is leaving the damn building.
What you think, Coach?
Man, hold on. I gotta fan that. Woo-wee. Woo.
Oh,
Lord have mercy, boy. Them folks down there in Bama are hot to trot.
hold on, bro. He ain't done, bro. Hey, bro.
Oh, oh, Lord
Hey,
have
bro. He
mercy.
ain't done, bro. I was listening to this live, bro. I was screaming, bro. Hold on, he ain't done.
You know what this is equivalent to? Yeah. This is equivalent to coming home and finding your wife in bed with the neighbor. This is what this is equivalent to, Paul. And I'll say this with this. Me and K Dub both agree. You could never trust her again. You might stay with her for the kids' sake, but you could never trust the woman again. And the same thing's true with Coach DeBoer. You can win a natty. We can't trust your ass now. You just proved that you can beat the best and lose to the worst in a 2-week friggin' period. You don't lose to Vanderbilt. That's the ugliest little sister on the block. You don't lose to Vanderbilt. You just don't friggin' do it, dude.
Bro, he's sick of the coach, bro. He's sick of the coach. But like I say, man, Bama got 5 wins, bro. It's gonna be the
Wow.
worst Bama season in like 20, 30 years, bro.
Is this his first year?
No, man. You know he lost to Vanderbilt last year.
So, okay, this is the one that lost to, this is the same coach that lost to Vanderbilt last year.
Vanderbilt gonna beat their ass again this year.
Woo!
He lost. Hey, yeah, we gonna clip that and short that. He lost to Vanderbilt last year, and he's
I remember
gonna
that.
lose to Vanderbilt again this year. Bama gonna win 5 games.
If Bama win 5 games this year, he better leave town on the first thing smoking. Because them folks
He's
down there in
leaving with his
Alabama,
70 million.
whoo, $70 million.
Yeah,
And that's fully
the NI
guaranteed.
the NIL has broken up the monopoly, bro. The
And that's fully
NIL
hold
has
on. That's
broken up
fully
the monopoly.
guaranteed money, right? They gotta
Yes,
pay the
it's a
coaches all of
$70
that.
million buyout.
Woo!
So the NIL is fully guaranteed, brother.
Wow.
Yes, yes. The NIL is fully guaranteed. I mean, the NIL has broken up the Bama monopoly. Now, let's talk about these East St. Louis Flyers, bro. They had a game scheduled for this Saturday for
Yeah.
their annual classic, and
Got canceled.
the classic was canceled.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been talking, Coach K hit me with some, with some inside sources, you know what I'm saying, some inside news. We ain't gonna talk about where we get it from, but Coach K, he let us know, in his absence that the game was canceled because The coach over at Gaston County is the head coach is no longer the head coach, and they had about 8 players suspended. Now, there's
Wow.
rumors there's rumors that the coach was fired for what I don't know. There's also rumors that he quit and he left, he walked away for what I don't know. So, in my opinion, the truth probably lies in a little bit of both. He probably walked away before he was fired. And then they said they had about 8 players suspended, so they backed out. So then I heard once they backed out, Cahokia decided to do their thing and say, "Hey man, we gonna go play our game at our home." You know what I'm saying, and do our own thing. So then that broke it down right there. So that just totally canceled, breast up the whole thing. It was supposed to be 4 games with a flag football game, but you still have 2 schools from one school out of Maryland, and you got a school out of Chicago. They still will play, and the flag football game is still on. So if you in the mood to see some football and you in the 314-618 area, I say go on over there Saturday, man. If your high school team ain't playing, and still check that game out, man, because
Oh
it
yeah.
might be a good game. If we can, we might try to stream it on Nosebleed Nation Football. Now let's get to the real nitty gritty, man. The Flyers went down to Bergen Catholic this week, man. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 points. I want to say 2 points. With the 2 point conversion after the blocked punt that was
Yeah, they
returned
blocked the
for
punt.
a
Yeah.
touchdown. Now this is something that a lot of people say in the past. They blame it on the coaches and things like that. And I also did it as well, but I'm gonna say this, man. The last couple tight losses that the Flyers had, they weren't on the coaches. I don't feel like the coach and play calls had an effect on the game. Now, this just might be my personal opinion, but in Jersey, a Jersey team, the number one team in Jersey is going to get the Jersey call in Jersey. So we
Yes, sir.
gotta do something to put the game away and make it indecisive. And I think, getting that punt blocked, that enabled them to be able to give the Jersey team the Jersey call in Jersey. We can't overlook special teams, bro.
No.
Year in and year out, when we lose these close games, it's always because of special teams, bro. And I think it's time to we got to focus a little bit more on the special teams. And I'm not saying that the coaches don't do that, but they got to hone into the youth on how important the special teams is, and special teams is going to be the difference between us having that state championship and us going and battling for that national title. I firmly believe special teams is the difference that's keeping us out of that top 10 national rank. Once we sew up special teams, we will be able to stay in the top 10, and we will be able to make it to that top 10 and stay in that top 10 and hopefully compete for a national title. But we got
I,
to lock in on special teams.
I agree, Chuck. I agree. I think, the East Side football team, it's always been, it's kind of shocking too, because you would think special teams, especially on kickoff and punt return, with the speed that we have, that wouldn't be an issue. But to allow a guy to block a punt, that's critical in the game. We're winning the game in a critical moment. All you gotta do is get this ball out and the game, and we can hold it. And the punt gets blocked. Guy comes right up the middle, blocks the damn ball. That should never happen. And yes, you're 100% right. As what Mike Tomlin, the great Steelers coach, always say, we got to win the game in all 3 phases. You got to win the game in all 3 phases. Football is offense, defense, special teams. You can't have field goals getting blocked. You can't have punts getting blocked. You can't have that happen. Matter of fact, that happened in the Mount Carmel game. Would you watch that game when they blocked that punt and
Oh
ran it back
yeah,
for a touchdown?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it let them
Remember
right
that?
back in the game,
Put them right back in the game.
and then they
Mount
end up
Carmel was
winning.
down 2 scores.
Hey, they won it the same way, bro. That was crazy.
Yes,
They
they
won
won
it.
it the
They won
same
the
way.
game the same way that the Flyers lost the game, bro.
Ain't that something?
Crazy, bro.
Ain't that something?
And they were playing. The Flyers played the number one team in Jersey. Mount Carmel played the number one team in Ohio, and we was over on in the comments over on Sloachy. Man, Sloachy is the man when it comes to high school football in
Already.
Illinois. what I'm saying? So we was over there in his comments on Instagram, and a guy was saying you can't compare the number one team in Jersey to the number one team in Ohio, and I was like, why not?
Why not?
That team in Ohio, they really kicks ass, bro. You know what
They,
I'm saying? Oh,
man, Chuck.
yeah.
Woo, you right. You right. I'm gonna tell you this. That Ohio team looked very clean and disciplined.
And if they can't beat Bergen Catholic, I'm pretty sure they would take them down to the wire as well.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
so let's talk about this. In the crowd, they started screaming in the fourth quarter, 5 star where? 5 star where?
Mm.
That's what yeah, yeah. And then the boy bust out a big run. You know what I'm saying? That was crazy. And he was like 5 star there, but I think he had a decent game. But I want to see him hold the ball. He had a few fumbles last year in DeSoto, and some people say he got a fumbling problem, but I'm sure that's something that can get tightened up as he gets older and stronger and things like that. But you can't fumble the ball. He just
Well, I'll tell you
can't.
what. So in the game against Bergen Catholic, what was his stat line?
I can't remember. I don't have it right
Look
offhand.
at shit. Look it up. Look it up. Ain't no problem.
Um,
We live, baby. I just
let me
wanna
see.
I just wanna know because that's gonna give me an idea. Because remember when we was talking about these Catholic schools, how they can bottle up the running game. They always known for having big ass offensive lines and big ass defensive lines and linebackers. Them Catholic schools, they always like that. Man, that may have changed over the years, but I know historically when I was playing ball young and coming up a little bit older than y'all, that's how they were. You look, where we from in the St. Louis area, the Catholic school.
Your audio went out, coach.
I believe I lost everything.
All
No, we
right.
talking about
I got it right here. I got it right here. Uh,
Altoff had them big old offensive linemen.
so yeah, they didn't have his box score on Max Preps. They say it's not included, but it say both teams had a combined 87 rushing yards. So the run game was basically shut down for both teams.
Wait a minute. 87 combined?
That's what the AI is telling me it got from Chat GPT, bro. I mean AI got from Max Preps. That's what Chat GPT saying. It got
87 combined.
yeah. 154 passing yards, 87 rushing yards combined.
Wait a minute, 187 combined on both teams?
Yeah.
So you know what that says, Chuck? That means that both defenses were pretty even on what they were doing. So a game like that is going to come down to mistakes. Whoever
Yeah.
makes the first mistake loses the game.
Yeah, it's hard to keep follow the stats for the Flyers. Flyers traditionally do not post their stats. They
Really.
don't make the stats public for some reason.
But that's what that tells me, Chuck. And let's just say that stat line is true.
Hmm.
We have seen in the pro game where teams are evenly matched and the game is lost on a errant interception, fumble, punt block, field goal miss, field goal block. That's what that game was going to be like that. You had two elite high school programs that were pretty much evenly matched defensively based on the stat line, if that's a true stat line. So it came down to who was going to make the mistake. And it just Eastside was a team that made the mistake. That's all it is. And they got to clean that up. They got to clean it up. They got to clean it up. Got
All
to clean it
right.
up.
Yeah. So Flyers had 45 total plays, 19 first downs, 5 penalties for 25 yards. Bergen Catholic had 59 plays, 16 first downs, 4 penalties for 25 yards.
Okay.
Yeah. So Bergen Catholic's lead in Russia only had 47 yards on 17 carries. So yeah.
So you said that they had 87 combined.
Yeah.
So they were pretty almost evenly matched. They almost had a most equal same amount of rushing yards. Then.
Yeah. So what I want to see from him from the 5-star, bro. He got to get 150, 200 yards in one of these big games. He got
Yeah.
to go out for 150, 200 yards. And I feel like he can do
Yeah. I
it.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They have to find a way. So Coach Sunkett is going to have to find a way to maximize this young man's skill set. From what I saw on tape when he was in DeSoto, the time I saw him run the ball, I saw the way they would run the ball with him on certain play designs. You know,
But I,
he's a very good cutback runner.
I think
They
that's
got to
gonna be
find a way to
easy.
do that.
That's easy for Coach Sunkett, bro. This
Yeah.
ain't Coach Sunkett's first 5-star. Coach Sunkett
Mm,
been dealing with 5-stars since the 90s, bro. So since he
that's
was in his
true.
early 20s as a head coach. So
That's
he's
true.
going,
That's
he's
true.
gonna, he's gonna. One thing about Coach Sunkett, bro, Coach Sunkett can make an average player good, and he can make a good player great, and he can make a great player NFL bound. It's all up to the player. But
That's
Coach
real.
Sunkey gonna get it out of you. One thing about it, two things for sure. Coach Sunkey will get it out you. It's up to you if you're gonna bring it out. But Coach
Yeah.
Sunkey, he gonna do the work. You got to do your part. You know.
And you know what, though, Chuck, I'm gonna give the Flyers benefit of the doubt. It's the first game. It was the first game they played. You know, I'm pretty sure Bergen Catholic. I'm pretty sure they didn't like the way they played, but they'll take that L. I mean, they'll take that dub. But it's the first game of the season. You're filling each other out against an elite competition. You know, you have to give them a benefit of the doubt. You want to get that win. You going down to win, and it just hurts to lose a game like that. You know, and I think they will make a bounce back. They got to play Gaston County. Is that the next game?
No, that game's canceled. That's the game for Saturday. So
Okay,
the
so
next
they
time we'll
canceled
see the
that
Flyers on the field will be September 12th in Las Vegas
one. Okay,
against Bishop Gorman. That's September
Bishop Gorman.
12th in Las Vegas against Bishop Gorman. And that
Okay.
game will be live here over on Nosebleed Nation Football, which
Oh
we
yeah, baby.
know as NFHS. But you can also come over here to the watch party and get the play-by-play with us at Nosebleed Nation Football. We are Flyers fan channel. Hey, with that said, Coach Mike, we gonna wrap this show up, man. We coming back tomorrow night, man. After the Cowboys game, y'all. We gonna hit a live video for our reaction to the NFL's first game of the year. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. So, with that said, man, Coach Mike, you got any last words before we let the people go tonight?
Yeah, man. Well, I appreciate everybody coming through, man, and watching the game, and I mean watching our live. You know, this is our first time doing it, and we're gonna have more to give you guys and offer you guys. Like I've always told y'all, we do this for y'all. For the fans of the National Football League, the fans of college football, high school football, flag football, ladies football, whatever kind of football it is, we are going to be your number one way to go and get all the news and the content that goes to that. We appreciate y'all. Much love to you. Make sure that you hit that like button, man, for the algorithm. You know, share this live to people. Let people know about us. You know, we're a growing channel. We're trying to grow a community. Um, both of us from our native thing of East St. Louis, Illinois, native city. So we appreciate y'all. So as always, thank you for coming through, and we'll see y'all next time. Back to you, Chuck.
Man, I ain't really got much to say, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all know my saying. If ain't nobody told you they love you and they want to see you succeed, the people over here at Nosebleed Nation, we are your biggest fans. So come join us in football talk a few nights a week. From now on, we doing nothing but the live videos, man. So hit that like button, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell so you get that notification every time we go live. And shout out to Coach K, man, on that road for us, man, getting that good inside info. We got some
Coach
special,
K.
we got some special things coming as the season go along. So make sure y'all come, bro. We got some special guests. They are coming. Like Coach Prime say, we coming. I'm out. Nosebleed Nation out, man. We love y'all.
All right, right on. Y'all have a good one.